Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Well, for you, if you're watching this video, it's probably actually the afternoon, but for me it is morning. I'm about to embark on my journey cooking for you guys all day, breakfast to dinner to evening snack, and I'm going to show you what a day in the life cooking with me is like, trying to surpass at least 4,000 calories during this bulking I have been doing, and how it is not too challenging and it is not that expensive. So I'm going to start the day always with a nice big old thing of water just to get myself rehydrated after not drinking for at least 8 hours. And we are about to cook some breakfast, so let's get it started. Welcome to my kitchen, which I can reach both walls, but that's about all you can really ask for in a New York City apartment. So this is what I got to work with, and this is what it's going to be today. So to get started, I'm going to do a breakfast. Now, what I've learned for breakfast, the best way to get started is a lot of protein, because a staple is eggs. And I like to carb load through the rest of the day, so I'll get a fair share, but just get in as much protein as you can to start the day. Now, I'm not a fan of eggs. I know there's a lot of people who are, but I've never liked eggs unless I have enough things complementing them, like toast and jelly or bacon or hash browns or anything to just kind of mask their lack of flavor. I don't know. I don't like eggs, but I eat them because they're very important to getting a good protein start to the day. Now, what I'm going to start out with is what I make with my eggs to make them enjoyable as I possibly can. So this is a recipe that my dad has done for as long as I can really remember now. So we're going to make some kind of like diced potato hash browns to go with the eggs. Now, golden delicious, white, yellow potatoes, whatever ones suit your taste. Just a couple of potatoes to start out with, and I'm just going to dice them, and we'll go from there. Okay, so now we have our potatoes completely diced. We're going to go ahead and bring you in a little closer. Going to go and get our pan heated up here. A very important part of this to make them taste better is to add some butter as your spray for the pan. This really helps with flavor, as always. And again, we're not really being too particular with calories here, so a little butter doesn't hurt. Now we're just going to work the butter around the pan, get it nice and hot. And we are just going to add our potatoes. A helpful trick, I have been told, is to let the potatoes have already been cooked from the previous night. So if you happen to have baked potatoes the night before or went ahead and made them, it makes this process a lot faster. These are obviously raw, so I have to go ahead and let them cook a little bit ahead of time. Then I will go ahead and add the veggies, which the only ones I add to the mix are green pepper and onion. Just gonna go ahead and dice these up a little bit and add a little bit for flavor, and they'll be done hopefully within the next 20 minutes. And then we will get working on the eggs. All right, so now we have let the potatoes cook for about 10-ish minutes, and I have here diced up some onion and green pepper. And that is all I like. You can add whatever you want, whether it be ham or cheese or whatever you want to add. It's most of the ingredients I would add to an omelet. I just like it added to the potatoes because that's what I grew up with. So that is how we do it. So we'll go ahead and stir those in. and let those simmer for just a little bit longer. I have my pan heating up for my eggs as we speak. Right out the big pan. I've already got my eggs beat. I like them scrambled, but again, however you like to prepare any of your stuff, I'm just giving you what I eat in case you're struggling to come up with ideas. Here's just a typical breakfast for me. And when I say typical, I mean every day. I have half a dozen eggs beaten to be scrambled. I don't really like sunny side up or anything, so I'm gonna avoid that. I tend to hover around the 6 egg mark because it ends up with everything being around 40 to 50 grams of protein for the meal, which I think is just a good start to the day. I try to get close to as 50 per meal as I can so that it ends up being about 200 by the end of it. We'll go over macros before the end of the video, but half a dozen eggs seems to be what I can get down and gets the amount of protein that I am looking for. Okay, so we are at the final stages now. I have finished off the eggs. The potatoes have just been kept warm. I'm going to add a little bit of cheese because protein and fat is not a worry at this point. I like the Mexican style the best to add to the eggs. Shredded cheese, or sharp cheddar, whichever your fancy is. Just add a nice healthy amount of cheese to the eggs. Let that melt in. I have an English muffin toasting in my toaster, which is precariously perched in my drawer because counter space. What's that? Okay, so eggs are now done. Potatoes are done. It's about time to eat. Okay, so we have here our finished product. It'll be 6 whole eggs, an English muffin with raspberry jelly, 2 white potatoes with green peppers and onions, and then Mexican shredded cheese in the eggs. So I will check back in with you all after I eat. And there you have it. Meal number 1 is down. It's a struggle. I'll give you that much. It's not easy to get down that many calories in the start of the day, but we do it because we want to get big. So now I'm gonna go grab myself a cup of coffee to get my day going so I can be productive. And I will check back in with you guys when I'm making my pre-workout lunch, and then we will head to the gym. All right, welcome back. It is time for meal number 2. Now, I'm having to work out a little later in the day, so this, depending on when you go to the gym, you're gonna shift your meals around and how many go before or after or when. I'm gonna work out later in the afternoon, so I'm gonna have a snack to hold me over because I usually like to have a nice carb-loaded meal before I go to the gym. There's this window where it helps me get the best energy while I'm actually working out. So for now, just because I had breakfast, I think about a couple hours ago, I'm gonna go ahead and have a high protein snack because protein is slow digesting and it will hold you for a longer amount of time. Now, this is a recipe that I discovered from someone else, and I'm sure many of you have already seen it or heard of it, but it is amazing. So if you take some plain Greek yogurt and scoop yourself a solid bowl full of it, I get myself about 3 solid scoops of it to fill a bowl, and I will take whatever protein powder I have. We'll talk about supplements in another video, but I use the gold standard way. And I will do about half a scoop because too much of it is just turns it chalky, but a little over half a scoop of it. And amazingly enough, by some miracle of science, it mixes in perfectly. And you have yourself a delicious chocolate mousse pudding like protein delicious substance. I've been making this for a while. If ever I need to just have a quick protein meal, I can pack it in some Tupperware or whatever. And I've had many people ask, what the heck do you have there? It's always fun to explain about my chocolate protein powder Greek yogurt. But it's usually about a good 30 grams of protein, again, between the powder and the yogurt. And I just snack on it. It'll hold me until I have my pre-workout lunch here in a couple hours. So I will check back in with y'all when I finish this, and we will move on to the next meal. Welcome back. We are now at lunch number 2, 1.5. If the other one was more of a snack, just because I'm pushed back in the day. Don't get too caught up on like time constraints and stuff like that, because I will do a video later on if you work like 40 hours a week full time, how to stage meals and what to do when you don't have a lot of time on your hands. But this is just nutrition. This is just 4,000 calories on a budget, how to get there when you're bulking. Keyword is budget. Now, I know this may not be the best thing in the world to eat, but before a workout, I'm just gonna go with the classic, good old ramen noodles. This is something kind of a staple for me because it's not too heavy, but it's good carbs to give me good, quick, fast digesting energy before a workout. So I like to do this about 45 minutes before my workout. So by then I can take my pre and head out in about 20 minutes, and it just gives me the best energy for a lift. Now I do 2 packets of that. Where's my other packet? I like to do 2 packets because that gives me about 50 grams of carbs. I'm starting to boil some water now. And then I will mix in a packet of tuna for protein. Now you can get these at Aldi for about $1. They have a good flavor, they mix well. So between the 2 packets of ramen and the tuna, I get roughly 50 grams of carbs and 25 grams of protein. Quick digesting, perfect before a workout. So I'm gonna throw these into the pot and we will then dig in. All right, so there you have it. The pasta is done. It's 2 packets of ramen, tuna, and I will check back in when we are getting ready to head to the gym. All right, and just like that, we are done. I'm now getting ready to head to the gym. I will check back in with you guys for our post-workout meal. We are now back from the gym. Had a nice chest and shoulder push day, basically. This barely counts as a meal, but it is. After most workouts, usually you have a protein shake. I agree with that heavily because you want to go ahead and get some quick digesting protein into all the muscles you just annihilated. So again, gold standard way. Give enough milk for it to mix properly. Usually it's about 12 to 14 ounces. Now, the reason for that is because I do 2 scoops. Now, this is going to vary based on the protein you use. Some of you guys might be using the weight gainer protein, which has the giant, like 1 cup scoop. And so then you're going to do it based off whatever makes you comfortable. I can easily down 2 of these because the scoops are not big for just the whey protein. And there's no other fillers or anything. It's just straight protein. So 2 scoops I like best for me. Again, based on the protein you have and based on whatever you digest well is the amount you want to take. This is me going through my day and what's going to get me to my calories. Now, if you're trying to get anything similar, I would recommend getting in as many of the shakes as you can. If you need to break it up to 2 different shakes, by all means. But again, your preference, your type of protein. 2 scoops of whey for me immediately when I get home from the gym. All right, guys, welcome back to dinner. Good evening. It's been roughly 2 hours since my workout because I had the shake and that really sits with me pretty solid. So I decided for dinner, because that varies, what I've made thus far is pretty similar, pretty repetitive for a workout day. But for dinner, I decided to do something pretty dense because I did a high protein focused day. So my calories are only at about half right now. But dinner is where it's at. So we're gonna do a baked ziti. We're gonna do 1 whole box of ziti pasta. I'm making about 8 ounces of beef. I'm just browning it up. I've got the water boiling, cooked this pasta, and then we'll just mix it all up and throw it in the oven with a boatload of cheese, and we will have ourselves probably, based on the portion I'll eat, close to 1,000 calorie dish with salad and some garlic bread. So really good way to finish off the night. I'm still gonna have a couple more snacks after this, but this is the really big finale to go to bed because I like to, against popular belief, I like to eat a lot before going to bed because that's when you do the most growing. So I do not like to be hungry during the night. So I will show you part of the process of making this dish. You can look it up online, so I'm not trying to really make this into a cooking episode, more or less just what I make, what goes into it, and how easy it is to do it without spending that much money. All right, so now we have made the pasta, made the sauce, made the beef. Now we're just mixing up before we add it to the pan and give it a little bake so we can have some nice melted cheese. So super simple. That's why I chose this tonight, and it'll be for multiple meals because I'm obviously not going to eat this whole thing tonight as much as I'd love to. That would just probably ruin me. So it's a good 2 dinner meals, so I'll be able to eat it again tomorrow night and get at least about 900 calories per serving. So $1.50 box of pasta, about half a pound of beef and some sauces. It's not expensive, and that seems to be the theme if you guys didn't pick up on that yet. And super simple to make. Takes about an hour really between prep time and cook time. So I will check back in with you guys with the final product. All right, final product. Here's dinner. We got our baked ziti. It's just the beef, sauce, ziti, and mozzarella cheese, 2 garlic knots, and a balsamic mixed green salad. Pretty simple, but a lot of calories, a lot of carbs. Good way to finish off the day. I got a couple more meals after this, but this is the last big one. So I'm gonna sit down, enjoy this, and I'll check back in with you guys next meal. All right, so finished off the dinner. Very full right about now. It's been a lot of food today. It's not easy to go through the bulk because eating that much can be challenging. You kind of have to work your way up to it. So I'm finishing off with a full bowl of ice cream and some chocolate chips to finish off with some fat, extra calories of course. And then right before I go to bed I'll have a shake. I'll show you guys that shortly. All right, we have made it to the end of the day. We have gone through the entire process. I am stuffed, but one last ritual before I go to bed. I like to add one more shake. I do casein. So normally after a workout, I've done whey. I finish off the night right before I go to bed. To go to bed heavy, I take a 1 scoop of casein. I do this because casein is very slow digesting, so it'll work all the way through the night and be a good protein to have while I sleep and while I'm growing. So I find myself with a much better appetite in the morning as well when I do this. So that helps get the day started for another round of 4,000 calories. So that pretty much wraps this whole process up. This is it. I'm going to be going to bed right after this. I hope you guys were able to get up on maybe some recipes and just see how simple it is to get this amount of calories through the day, and how you don't have to eat a boatload of meals and you don't even have to break the bank day in and day out to do this. Before the end of this video, I'm going to show you guys my FitnessPal that I entered everything to show you how many calories I got. I was just about 100 short of 4,000. I got 3,900 today, which is fine because with bulking, you're not trying to be super strict. I'm just trying to get at least 35 most of the time, so closer to 4,000 is good. But I'll show you all the macros before the end of this video and show you the breakdown of everything. And ended up being about 250 grams of protein, 450 grams of carbs, and 100 grams of fat. So all in all, great day. All the goals were met. Everything was great. Got a good workout in today. I don't feel lethargic or anything. So I hope this was helpful. I will have one more bulking video. I'm going to show you guys, and we're going to talk more about the actual workouts that go into bulking and that style of what you should be doing in the gym when you're at a high calorie diet day in and day out. Thanks again so much for watching. I'll see you all next video.